Hi everyone, this is Dr. Susan Hickman with the Mental Fitness Institute, and this series is mFIT Parenting. The topic for today is the power of choice. When you are dealing with children from a very young age, even as young as 2, you can give them the power of choice. Teach them the power of choice, meaning you're wanting to place their decisions with them and couch it in terms of consequences. Now, let me give you an example. Let's say that you don't want your 2-year-old drawing on the walls with crayons. Most parents don't like this very much. Rather than saying, "Stop doing that, bad boy, go to your room," which means you're trying to control their behavior and you're teaching them that the choice that they made means that they're a bad person, not that the choice that they made was bad. So rather than doing that, you can say, especially when you've set it up ahead of time, you do not color on the walls, and if you color on the walls, here are what the consequences will be. You have to sit in timeout, you don't get, whatever it is, their toy that they like to play with. Set the consequences up ahead of time. So now when they're coloring on the walls, instead of saying bad girl or bad boy, you say you chose to color on the walls. You know what the consequences are, so you're choosing to have to sit in time out. This is an amazingly powerful thing you will do for your children if you will do this, because now you're locating their behavior inside of them. You're communicating to them that their choices are their own. It also helps for them to not, if they try to get angry with you for imposing that consequence on them, you can turn right around and say, "This was not my choice. I didn't choose for you to color on the walls. You chose that." Therefore, teaching them they have control over their own behavior. It's not uncommon for me to have this conversation with adolescents who get drugged into my office for some behavior. And part of the conflict, for example, is, she never cleans up her room. Melissa won't clean up her room. I'm yelling at her all the time. Mom yells at me all the time because I won't clean up my room. She's in there asking me, "Have you cleaned up your room? Have you cleaned up your room?" And so I will often turn to the adolescent and say, you have complete control whether your mother ever says another word to you about cleaning up your room. They generally look stunned, like, "You don't know my mother," right? But the point is, if you would choose to clean up your room and keep it clean, your mother would never have to say another word. Now, if it's the case that mom is just looking for something else to pick on, then we need to have a conversation with mom. But again, in adolescence, it really, really helps them as well. So all along the age span, you choose, you choose, you choose. You can also set up specific activities, particularly for the younger kids, but really at any age, and let them choose. So, for example, if the family's trying to figure out where they want to go eat, at least, if there's 4 people in the family, 1 out of every 4 times, that particular child gets to choose. And so if they turn to you and go, "I want to go to McDonald's, is that okay?" Do not go, "No, I don't really want to go to McDonald's," because now you're taking their choice away from them. If they say, "I want to go to McDonald's, is that okay?" You can in turn say, "It's your choice. And if you want to go to McDonald's, if that's your choice, we're going to go to McDonald's, whether you like it or not." Now, if you have some specific limitations in terms of health, like, here's the 5 restaurants that we like to go to that are healthy, you get to choose which one of those, you can set that up as well. I didn't take my kids to McDonald's very often. And so, I'm just using that as a common example of where kids like to go. The point is, though, by letting them choose, letting them make a decision, you're communicating to them you can make a decision, and we will honor it. This is the very beginnings and one of the aspects of healthy self-esteem, because making a decision is just information. So if they decide they want to go to Loopy's, for pizza, and then you all go and nobody likes Loopy's, it's not something for them to feel bad about. So if they start feeling bad about it, here's another teachable moment. It was a decision. We have learned that we don't like it, and we don't have to come back. It's information. Decisions just bring you information. in order to make a better decision next time. You probably won't choose to come back here. And so how you convey the consequences of those decisions, even if they're quote unquote misbehaving, and so therefore they've chosen to have a negative consequence or what they would view as a negative consequence. An important key in that is communicating that they are still loved despite their choice, that you're not mad at them as a human being. You don't particularly like the choice they made, but that you still love them. So it's important to separate out the child from his or her behavior and choices. The power of choice. A lot of times parents don't give kids choices because they weren't given any choices themselves, and they don't know how to do this. This feels very uncomfortable. It takes practice. It takes practice to allow your children to have the freedom to grow and become who they are. But the power of choice. Now, the last thing I want to say about it is, if you'll think through, what does it feel like for you emotionally to say, why are you writing on the wall? Stop that. You know better. I've told you not to do this. How does that feel emotionally? Well, it doesn't feel very good. Plus, it puts you in control, or attempting to be in control of someone else's behavior, which you can't be, right? As opposed to, now, how does it feel to say, I am sorry you chose to write on the walls, and therefore you've chosen a consequence. I hate that for you. It feels so much better energetically. It feels so much better emotionally for you, because you're just, showing them what the consequences are. You didn't do it. You don't have to be upset about it. So, hope that helps. See you soon. Take care.